concept where spirit and earth meet together as one, united being. And thank you for sharing your time with me. On this episode, I will be discussing dreams and what they represent. And later in the episode, I will be allowing a spirit-controlled message, performed in the form of spirit-controlled speech, delivered by one of my spirit guides. Dreams are a form of pure consciousness. Although not operating on a full consciousness, dreams are pure consciousness. While incarnate, we do not have the ability to unlock our full consciousness. This is for good reason. If at any point during our incarnation we were able to have full access to our full consciousness, we would lose the current experience. Dreams are designed to give our souls a break from our brains. Once in a dream state of mind, we disconnect from our brains. This allows our bodies to recuperate, as well as our souls. Pure consciousness, assisted by our spirit team. Since we are only operating on a portion of our consciousness while dreaming, our spirit guides are still with us, assisting us in ways of life improvement and knowledge. Our chosen spirit team is literally with us every second of our total incarnation. Some dreams are directed in forms of life improvement and knowledge, while others take more of an entertainment direction. Sometimes our souls just deserve a good spirit-directed movie to watch. Dreams are just as real as the physical plane, just perceived at a different rate of vibration. So yes, dreams are of a different dimension. Dreams are not part of a program-like experience, like the physical plane. While dreaming, we only interact with our own spirit team. This does not mean that our dreams can't involve interaction with each other, because sometimes, while incarnate, our dreams seem to be connected. Our spirit teams will sometimes share similar dreams with us for recognition, but dreams carry spiritual importance and must not be interrupted. So our connections with each other are disabled. Our spirit team, on occasion, will allow other spirits, usually of the recently departed, to interact with and give us message and guidance. Like the physical plane, our dreams are not fully controlled by our spirit teams. They're just guided in the right direction. A lot of the time, our consciousness has the option to roam. And since it is only on a portion of its full awareness, dreams can come out a little on the unexplainable side of thought. Everything in spirit and physical has meaning. There is a reason for everything. When we incarnate, we develop and create a new version of ourselves, a new being and awareness. This version of our being only lasts for a moment, but the results of the moment lasts forever. We also create a parallel version of ourselves in the dream state of mind. This dream state version only lasts for a moment as well. In other words, neither our physical or dream realities are our true and ultimate realities, but they do shape and mold our true consciousness into what they become. So when we agree and plan our current physical plane experience before incarnation, we are also preparing for a parallel altered consciousness experience that we call dreams. While they are not completely parallel, because in fact they do serpentine, I consider them to be parallel due to the same timeline. We start two experiences and finish them at the same time. They're two different dimensions, but are linked together like our bodies and souls. One experience with pure consciousness, and the other with physical consciousness. A lot of our dreams will not be remembered in our incarnation because we separate from our brains in a full dream state of mind. We need to be connected to our brains, partially at least, in order to remember any thoughts. A full disconnection from our brains occurs in deep sleep. Our brain is still active. We are just not connected to it. Our brains are only aware of what is or has experienced through it. Once we return completely back to our brain consciousness from a dream state, we pick up where we left off. The dreams that we remember are dreams that we experience with a partial brain connection. There are different levels of the dream state. This is for good reason. If there were not multiple transition levels of the dream state, the transition back and forth would be too drastic and would result in a shock of consciousness. This is why sometimes you can't remember the beginning of a dream, and is also why dreams are hard to remember upon waking up, due to your consciousness being only partially connected to your brain. Similarities can be found with out-of-body experiences and meditation. Both out-of-body experience and meditation include a partial brain connection. In order for any physical plane experience to be included, you must have a partial brain connection. This is why some do not remember their dreams. They do not have much of a dream state transition period, which in turn makes waking a challenge sometimes, as well as falling asleep. So yes, dreams while in a deep dream state cannot be remembered. It is similar to birth. Your previous state of being does not transfer with you. So yes, this develops the question of, if we don't have knowledge of our being in a deep dream state, then we could have a parallel life in this other dimension that we are continuing to live. And when we go to sleep in that life, we wake up in this life. Yes, this is possible. But I'm told by Spirit that while this is a great idea, It is not feasible due to our souls needing a true and well-deserved break from any physical experience. So then the question of, if we can't remember our deep dream state, then why can't we return to full consciousness for a brief moment every time we sleep? The transfer from the physical plane to spirit is an intense process of consciousness that requires a great deal of spiritual support and comfort. It would also take away from the radical existence transfer of spiritual experience that gives most of us reason to incarnate. And a lot of us would have an extremely hard time going through the process of incarnating so frequently. Not to mention, most would not decide on returning to the physical plane with such a short break. Most of us take pleasure in a considerate amount of leisure in between incarnations. For this portion of the show, I will be allowing a spirit-controlled message in the form of spirit-controlled speech, delivered by one of my spirit guides. Please keep in mind that during any spirit-controlled speech, there is often interference picked up on the recording. And since it is spirit-controlled, I cannot re-record. Ah, yes. Dreams. Everyone loves dreaming. Except, yes, of course, me. Or any spirit for that matter. As I obviously don't dream. Dreams are brain related in a way. Even though you don't really use your brain. They're related because you have to have one, or at least be connected to one, in order to have the need for a dream. Well, actually, you only have a need to sleep, and a dream is kind of a bonus for you, in a way. And you do kind of need a dream too, because your soul does need some ease, and I understand that because I've done it, like I've said before. Anyway. It was brought to my attention that I never say hello to everyone. I just kind of start blurting out stuff. So, hello, everyone. Yes, I do have a personality, even though I'm not a person. Believe it or not, spirits have personalities. We definitely don't call them that. We don't call anything because we don't talk. We just transfer thought because that's all that's needed in reality. Anyway, dreams. Dreams are very nice for the most part. Very, very nice. There's good dreams. Some people do have bad dreams. I must say, and I want to get this out there right away. Your bad dreams obviously are a product of, yes, fear. So, what have we talked about before concerning fear? Well, anything that's related to spirit and fear, or in other words, anytime fear is combined with anything spiritual, and yes, dreams are very spiritual, I would say that negative or bad dreams, well, they have no significance in the fact of reality, would be the best way for me to put it. It's a product of your brain. Yes. You do not have bad dreams in your deep dream-like state of mind or existence. So when you're in a deep sleep, you do not have bad dreams. I promise you that. It's just a part of your brain shutting down. A lot of people, when they fall asleep, their brain, well, when it starts shutting down, it goes through the process of, well, what's wrong? Worry. Worry can easily turn into fear. Especially when you're starting to let go of your full capable brain and transferring to your full capable consciousness. So your brain is actually starting to shut down, which is why, and I know some of you experience this, when you start to dream in your first stage of the dream state, when you first start falling asleep, you might catch yourself with thoughts that make sense in the moment. But then you kind of go back out of sleep. Your brain starts firing up a little bit. And then all of a sudden, that previous thought that you just had makes absolutely no sense. I know some of you experience this. Well, there's a perfect example of your brain and consciousness transferring. You start transferring to your consciousness. And in consciousness, certain things make sense that don't make sense when your brain is functioning. I'm not trying to confuse people here. Believe me, I know I say that all the time, but I'm really not. So I'm doing my best to not confuse. But that's a perfect example. And some of you might not even realize that you're doing that. Okay, now I'm definitely confusing. So, falling into a dream state of mind is somewhat of a process. Some go through the process rather quickly. Some takes a little bit more time. And of course, the ones that take more time are usually the ones with worry that could possibly turn into a bad dream. Remove worry from your existence. Remove it. Let it go. You can't block it because of your life experiences. In this current life experience, a lot of worry can't be blocked. In fact, you can't block anything. Consciousness can't be blocked, but releasing it is possible. In other words, don't focus on your worries. When you get a worry, release it. Well, how the heck do you release a worry? You can't just say, go away. It's there and it bothers you. You want to figure it out. Well, worry, and the easiest way to release worry is a reminder of your ultimate being and your knowledge of your ultimate being. A reminder that no matter what happens in this physical plane, you will ultimately be okay. No matter what. I know I keep saying it, but it's very important. That is a reminder. And that is the best tool for releasement. Release fear. Release worry. Doing this before sleep is very important. If you want to have good dreams, it helps. Once you're in the deep state, a deep dream state, one cannot worry. It is impossible. Worry is connected to your brain. When you are operating in more of a conscious level without a brain, you're living in the moment. Because there is no tomorrow, there is no yesterday in your true consciousness. You live in the moment. When you're in your deep dream state, you are living in the moment. You do not have a full awareness still. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's a hell of a lot better on your consciousness than being in the physical plane. And I'm not saying being in the physical plane is bad. I'm just saying it's tough. And of course, I don't need to remind any of you this. But I do kind of need to remind myself. Not to rub it in, but yes. Anyway, the deep dream state of mind is a wonderful place. It's definitely not spirit. You're not in the spirit plane. It has its own vibration. It's very calming. Very, very calming. And it is assisted by your spirit team. Your spirit guides are always with you. And we like to make sure that we guide you, even in thought and in pure consciousness. We want to make sure that everything's okay. And I'm sure some of you are going, whoa. Well, hold on then. Why in the heck are you letting us have bad dreams? I'm not going to do everything for you all, and I've said this before too. And here comes the analogy of the bowling, which I like to use because it does make sense. We, your spirit team, are the gutter protectors that pop up for usually children or people that are just beginning. We make sure the ball doesn't go in the gutter. But we're not going to make you have a strike every time you bowl either. In fact, we're not going to guide the ball in any direction of the pins. We're just going to make sure it doesn't go in the gutter. Okay? So, besides, if we blocked all of your bad dreams, then you wouldn't have the experience of overcoming fear, now would you? You wouldn't be having as much of a challenge in life. Like I've said previously, is a challenge, and I don't need to remind you all that. Okay, so dreams, yes. Different stages of dream, like state of mind? Yes. And no, it can't be numbered. And no, it can't be measured or gauged. It's just a different level of your consciousness. Can you adjust the level of consciousness? Yes, you can. You can adjust the level of consciousness integrated with your dream physical transition. And I'm trying not to confuse again, I swear. But you can control the amount of resistance experienced while trying to fall asleep There we go. That sounds a lot better. You control it by, yes, here we go, knowledge of your true being. Because it gives you some ease. It gives your soul some ease. So, when you're laying down or however you sleep, and you're ready to do it, well, remind yourself there's nothing to worry about. No matter what, you will be okay. Let it go. Just like in meditation. You got to let it go. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter. You're going to be okay. You're reminding yourself to live in the moment, which is definitely something you do not want to do throughout the day. Because obviously, you need to think about the future and the past. Because you got a lot going on. And the physical plane is a very confusing, fast-paced experience. So you need to, I'm not going to say worry, but you need to address the future and the past. We learn from the past and we embrace the future. But we're talking about dreaming. So, when it's time for bedtime, let it go. Release all thought, just like in meditation. Release. These thoughts are going to come. There is no blocking them. They're going to come. Let them come. But when they come, release them with the thought of, yes, it doesn't matter. Everything's going to be okay no matter what. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. You are going to be okay no matter what happens. And it doesn't come with you in your deep sleep anyway. So it's pointless to be thinking about it because it's not going to come with you. Let it go so you don't, okay, yeah, kind of need to backtrack there a little bit. Either way, it's going to go. You're going to let it go either way. But the amount of time it takes to let it go. And then yes, maybe some don't let it go. Maybe some hold on to it and they never fall asleep. They stay up. Aha, insomniac. Yes. I'm not going to get into that either. But obviously it happens. Release your thoughts. All thought. Release all thought. Let it go. Just like in meditation. Okay. So now, we've let it go. We're asleep. We are in the dream state. We've just started the dream state. So our brain is still functioning, but we are letting it go. This is why, of course, the whole sheep counting thing works, because you're focusing on sheep over and over, repetition. If you're focusing on something in repetition, then you're, in a way, blocking. Very funny. Yes. That's one way to fall asleep. Count sheep. That's great. But you're focusing. You're using your brain. Your brain is focusing on the sheep. Okay, so maybe it's not complete focus because it's repetition. And anytime repetition goes through your brain, it's kind of like, what's a good one? Being hypnotized. Yes, you're hypnotizing yourself with the sheep. It may work for some. That's great. If it's working, keep doing it. Okay. I'm just trying to throw in things here that work as well. And I think for most, you might find this way a little bit more calming. Okay. Release the thought of all thought, except for one thought. Okay, fine. You're not releasing all thought because you're thinking of the thought of it's going to be okay no matter what. As you can tell, I'm being a little bit kind of funny today. Not a lot funny, but maybe a little. Yes. So bear with me. I'm a spirit, but I'm not unlike you. So sometimes anyway, not about me per se. It's about the dream state of mind. So back where we were, yes, I would say you are releasing thought. Once you train or retrain your consciousness on why you're releasing your thought, you no longer need to be reminded or focus on the fact of everything's going to be okay no matter what. Okay? So once you do it for a while, you don't have to keep doing that. Your consciousness has already been reminded, and it's something that you do continually. You can remind yourself this throughout the day. You're not going to fall asleep, but you can remind yourself throughout the day that everything's going to be okay no matter what. But really, you want to do it when you're meditating or falling asleep. Those are some good times. So, a reminder of your true being before you want to go to sleep will help you and aid you in releasing thoughts, which is very important to release thought. And once you do it continuously and you're used to the idea, very funny, yes, of releasing thought, you no longer need to. Your consciousness is going to do it automatically. Releasing thoughts. It's mainly to release the bad ones, okay, and the worry. You can probably fall asleep thinking about something that you love or love to do. That wouldn't be a problem. The main thing I'm trying to address here is releasing negative thoughts of fear and confusion and, yes, all of that, all of the above. So yes, too, if you wanted to think about something that you really loved, if you could be anywhere in the world or anything in the past that you enjoy doing the most, you could think about that and you'd probably be able to fall asleep pretty easily. Well, there are other ways. This is just a good one to remind you of releasing negative thoughts. Okay, so once you are in to the deeper state of sleep, now this is when you truly start living in the moment. Living in the moment is your consciousness in one continual thought. You're always going to have thought. I know that might be a little more confusing now because I just told you to release all the thoughts. You're not aware that you're in a dreamlike state. Some do sometimes, and there is an issue with that. But most are not aware of the fact that they are in a dreamlike state. And I'll say it again, some do. And I know that for a fact. Some are aware that they're dreaming, and I could get into that a lot more. But I'm not going to now. Most are not aware of it. They're so deep in thought. It becomes their reality. Once it becomes their reality is when we assist into the deeper states. And no, you're not aware of us either. You are focused on a deep thought. A dream is a very deep, singular thought. It's such a deep thought that you become that dream. That dream becomes your reality. You can control that reality. So yes, this is a great feeling of, I don't want to say a synthetic feeling because it is a real feeling, but this feeling is a lot closer to your true existence, your true ultimate being. It's way closer than being in the physical plane, which is what gives you and your soul some ease, true ease and relaxation. Worry cannot exist in this state once you have started to go deeper into your dream state. Anything bad diminishes. You're in your true state of mind. It is not your full consciousness because your awareness is not complete. You do not have full awareness of your ultimate reality. But you also don't have the negatives that come with the physical plane, like worry, fear, hate, confusion. They do not and cannot exist in your deep dream state, which is what you all need. Yes, there are very few things that I say you need. This is definitely one of them. It's very, very, very similar to your ultimate being, your true existence. But it is not. You're not 100% aware. But it's very therapeutic. Without it, nobody here would incarnate. That is for sure. We often, your spirit guides, intervene by showing you, I'm not going to say lessons because they're not really lessons. We like to show you a reminder of why you incarnate in the first place. That's the best way for me to say it. We like to show you a reminder sometimes. Now, this can't be done in the ultimately deep state where you have no connection with your brain. This is done in limbo, in between, right where you have, yes, I'm going to say it, about 50-50. I know I said I couldn't gauge it or be gauged, but I'm going to do it this time, okay? 50-50. Right when you're about 50 in and 50 out. It's a good spot for your brain to not have full function, but enough of your consciousness is at play for you to understand my guidance or your spirit guide's guidance a little easier. So in the first stages of a dream state, there's a lot to be acknowledged. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you feel like there's a message in your dreams, that includes a good outcome. Pay attention to it. It's not something that you made up. Okay? It's something that was guided in your direction. Not trying to teach you, but show you a reminder of what you wanted to accomplish. Because you are your ultimate teacher. I and we, your spirit guides, are just here to remind you of your intentions before incarnation and some of the things that you wanted to accomplish. These are not things that we want you to accomplish. We're just ones to remind you. We're the ones that you chose before incarnation to help you along the way. So that's what we do. We kind of guide you in the right direction, and we show you with thought on how that can be accomplished. Yes, it's kind of like another tap on the shoulder. Hey, hey, hey. Remember? That's why a lot of the times you might experience a dream of the hey, hey, hey feeling. Or like something might be, or someone might be trying to show you something. Yes. Well then, it is. Should be no surprise there. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way anyway. Well, I'm just making it known now. That's what it is. It's us helping you. Surprise! Okay. Sometimes we feel that you just need a little entertainment. Believe it or not, we do. So sometimes we might show you or guide you in thoughts of entertainment, things that you might enjoy in your physical life, or things that you dream about. Sorry, I had to do it one time. So sometimes there's always meaning behind everything that you experience in the physical plane. But some has more meaning. Sometimes your dreams are just for pleasure, because the physical plane is a very difficult place. It's kind of like watching a movie, except you are involved and have the feeling of being in the movie. Well, we like to show you a good movie sometimes of something that we know that you would love to do in the physical plane, but might not actually get to do. So sometimes your dreams are just a pleasurable dream. So it seems like we've covered about 3 different types of dreams. You have the bad dreams, which I did my best to explain on how to avoid, and I hope everyone got good knowledge out of the explanation. And by the way, I'd like to throw this out there too. Feel free to ask me questions as well, not just MA. You can address me. Should be no surprise. And I did not discuss this with MA. I kind of just threw this out there right now. So, if any of you do have questions for me, feel free to address your questions for me. I don't mind. Of course, don't leave MA out either. Even though I'm the one who supplies his information, he interprets it different and turns it into more of an incarnate situation. Because his incarnate expertise is something I actually cannot do, because I'm not incarnate. So He would be the incarnate answer, and I would be the spiritual answer. And no, I didn't feel left out. I just want everyone to know. And yes, I could have had MA say it, but I wanted to. And I wanted to surprise him. So, there's a lot of questions out there, I'm sure. And you're probably going to have a lot of questions about what the heck I'm doing right now. Because it can be quite confusing, this whole medium thing. And anyway, feel free to address any questions to me as well. Carrying on. It seems we've covered 3 different types of dreams. The fearful dreams, confusion, and everything that relates in the negative form of dreams. And I think I've covered pretty well on how to avoid it. Because I know for a fact that there are some people out there that never have bad dreams. Okay, not never in their whole life, but they've gotten to the point in their life where they don't have bad dreams anymore. So it is possible. And of course, I'm telling the people that have bad dreams this because there are some people that have pretty bad dreams. And I know this. Very bad. And dreaming is not about that. Life is. Life is about overcoming fear. But your dreams, especially when you've been experiencing this physical plane for quite some time, you deserve it. That's when your dreams are really supposed to come into play and aid you in your physical current existence. So please do your best. So, that and the messages integrated with your dream are very important because as they might seem to be messages from spirit, they are actually your messages that we are reminding you of. These are things that you asked us to remind you of throughout your life. So make us look good, okay? Pay attention to them. And the dreams that are, well, just for entertainment, pleasure. They're great. And in a way, they are our creations because we come up with these dreams of pleasure sometimes, for your enjoyment. But you're the ones really creating them because we create them around what you like. And the things that you like in the physical plane are your creation thoughts. Things that you like to do or enjoy the most. So yes, dreams. We enjoy. We enjoy our dreams. And they mean so much to us. And I think that when you process today's episode, I think that it will unlock your consciousness and expand your consciousness a little more Because yes, that is what I'm trying to do with every message and every episode. I'm trying to unlock and expand everyone's consciousness. That is my purpose, to expand your consciousness with knowledge and awareness of your true ultimate being. The dreamlike state is separate from your physical plane experience. But, like all consciousness, it's also intertwined and connected, because everything is intertwined and connected with everything, because everything is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. So, the dreamlike state of mind is an important aspect of your physical plane experience. The two go hand in hand. One would not exist without the other. One would not work without the other. I can assure you, nobody would incarnate in this physical plane if they didn't get a break every day, at least. And just in case there's anyone out there with this question, I'm just going to throw this out there. And it's a pretty, I don't want to say obvious, because a lot of things aren't obvious. I just want to throw it out there. No, there's no need for sleep in spirit. And I could get into explaining why, but that would be a whole nother show. We don't have the need to sleep in spirit. Consciousness, pure consciousness, is always conscious. In other words, even you, while incarnate, are always awake. You never truly go to sleep. Your consciousness is always conscious. Okay, this concludes our spirit message for this episode. I hope everyone has experienced an expansion of consciousness. Dreams are another extension of our consciousness and can provide a great deal of restoration to our souls. Please feel free to contact me with any questions. Remember, I love questions as they allow me to open my awareness in ways that can't be done without you. I can be reached through my website, peripheralconsciousness.com. under contact. Thanks again, and I look forward to communicating with all of you in the near future. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your time. I know a lot of the things that I talk about can be quite confusing. That being said, if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to go over them with you and discuss any matters that you might have at hand. Thank you again, everyone. Please tune in next time for Peripheral Consciousness with Emily Johnson. Thank you. Bye.